everyone. Welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you do? All right, listen. Hang on. Hang on while I get my mess together, right? I got a question for you, all right? And you might be able to answer this. You might not. I don't know. Are you a political descendant? Can you answer that? Okay. In China, if you criticize the government, okay, on social media, you can find yourself locked up in prison and involuntarily donating your organs for black market trading. Now here in America, if you go anywhere near the Capitol building in D.C. to peacefully protest, the potato regime, you can find yourself locked up in jail and labeled a domestic terrorist. So, and this is with no trial by jury, possibly ever. So I'm going to ask you again. Are you a political descendant? Have you ever seen the show Black Mirror? I think, yeah, it's on Netflix. Have you ever seen it? All right, well, listen. Most people think that the episodes are purely fictional. But based on some possible future world where technology is used against humans to control their lives, their rights, their health, right? In actuality, most of the episodes are based on life as it actually exists in China right now. But most Americans, I'm going to be honest, we're naive and don't even know much about it, and much less believe that the same tyranny is taking place right here, right now, to them. For tens of millions of Americans who watch fake news from 2016 to 2020 and complained all over social media about the collusion. You remember that? Right. And then for the tens of millions of Americans who watched Potato and his CCP cohorts steal the you know what, and then complained on social media about all of it. Well, you are now being categorized and labeled as domestic terrorists and enemies of the state right now. Yeah, Facebook, Zuck. I have a name for him. I'm not going to say it here. They've been spying on us, or for those of us that actually have the Facebook, on private messages and data of Americans, and then reporting it all to three-letter agencies. Yeah. And it's all about anti-authority sentiments, red flagging people who ask questions. All because we're asking questions. Rational questions. This is all according to the Department of Justice. How ironic. The Domestic Terrorist Operational Unit of the FBI, headquartered in D.C., will be investigating without warrants, without subpoenas. Now, The CCP has no sanctity for human life. Criticize the government and how they run things, and you find yourself behind bars, without trial, without rights, indefinitely. Now, here in America, the Constitution says we have the right to a speedy trial, a lawyer, judge, jury, etc., etc., etc. But not if you're a terrorist. Yet, what and who defines a terrorist? Now, when we, as Americans, think of a terrorist, you automatically think what? 9/11, right? The hijackers, right? Boston bombers, right? That's what you think. That's what any American would think, right? Oklahoma City, right? This is a very gray area. And now, one that the potato regime is using against every single one of us. Now, who question the results. You know the results that I'm speaking of. If we question the results of the arm ticket, even the school curriculum or our children's education, we can't even question that. Post anything on social media that says you do not agree with anything that they put out. Guess what? You are now a domestic terrorist. How does that sit with you? Does not sit very well with me, because I don't see myself as a domestic terrorist. You know what I see myself as? I see myself as a wife, a mother, a grandmother, an aunt. Okay? I see myself as someone who is being concerned about the welfare of my husband, my family, my son, my grandchildren, my daughter-in-law. Okay? My niece, my nephew, my mother, my father, my mother-in-law. Okay? And I know that I'm speaking for all of you when I say that, because I know that you feel the same way that I do. But we are now considered terrorists because why? Because we question everything. We can't second guess anything. We can't question anything. Why? What? Huh? What? It's just like the same thing if we were to go to a doctor and we're kind of like, hey, I don't know about that doctor. I'm going to go get a second opinion. Is it now against the law to get a second opinion from another doctor? It's the same thing that what we're doing with the regime. I want a second opinion. I'm going to question it. It's the same thing. I can't do that now? Why? What? Now I'm considered a terrorist because I'm second guessing you? I want a second opinion? Give me a break. Okay? Can't pull the wool over these eyes. All right? Can't do it. So, you're now a domestic terrorist. You're now on a watch list, possible behind bars. Many of the protesters from, the 6th, they didn't do anything violent. They had no criminal record whatsoever. They were invited by law enforcement, undercover agents, to walk into that building. And now They're locked up indefinitely in a D.C. jail for being domestic terrorists. This does not sit well with me. And I'm sure it does not sit well with you. Because they're people just like me and you. That's it. Is this now communist China? Imagine if 45 had won. Okay, I'm not saying, hey, he should have won. No, just listen. Imagine if he did win. And locked up everyone from, BLM. From 2016 to 2020 with no trial, no judge, no lawyer, no jury, no none. Imagine scrubbing Facebook and Twitter for negative comments about 45 during the collusion and staged an impeachment. Surely, if you held a severed head that looked like 45 and declared your TDS for all of the media to propagate, you will be jailed as a terrorist, right? Now, did that happen to what's her face? That Kathy, what's her name? No. When she did that? Did that happen? No. She went from a D-list celebrity to a B-list celebrity when she did that. Yeah. So, this don't sit right with me. It's not going to sit right with you. I know that. But this is who we are now. This is what we're labeled as now. And for what? Huh? Or it's like, what the hell is her name? On The View. That Shotsky. Sonny something. If we wave the American flag, we're considered terrorists now. Really? Don't come to my home. Because I got American flags all over the place. Why? Because my son is a Lance Corporal in the United States Marine Corps. Hoorah! He's not a terrorist, and neither am I. My son's a hero. What are you? Liberal snowflake. That's it. All right, I'm out of here. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe, you stay positive, you keep prepping. And as always, fear less.